let's talk about one of the most useful applications of this sort of computer modeling, which is the idea of optimization. Now, at a very abstract layer, your entire model is basically a function in that it's taking a set of input parameters, that's your parameters here, it's doing something, and that something happens to be partial differential equations, and then it's giving you an answer out at the other side. Now, the idea of optimization is you want to find the best combination of your inputs in order to optimize something on the other side. So the way you're going to access this capability is under Study, and you go to the optimization. And in that conception of a function, what you want to realize is that both the parameters and the objective that you're optimizing are both properties of the model as a whole. In other words, they're global scope. Okay, this is a bit of a pitfall when people go and use this, and they don't realize that they need their parameters and variables and objective functions to be on the global scope. Hence the previous lecture talking about the idea of integration coupling variables in order to bring it from a quantity at a particular point through the variable, you evaluate it for concentration of B, and now it exists at the global scope. Okay, that is the objective function. That is the quantity of interest that we're looking to optimize. So all you have to do is type it in there. If you don't remember the path and the name of everything, COMSOL has a very nice feature here called replace expression. This one's just add expression. You can search for it up here, or you just clicky and go down, and lo and behold, there it is. But we don't need to put it in again. Okay, and then I'm going to skip this part. I'll come back to it in a second, and I'll come down to the control variables and parameters. This is literally the inputs to the model that you're looking to find the combination for. So here, these are, if you do the down arrow, these are quite literally all the parameters that are listed up here. Every single one down here, you can bring in and you can add to your list of control variables and parameters that you're looking to optimize over. Of course, the more options that you give it, the longer this is going to take. You do have to specify an initial value. It doesn't have to be whatever you set in the parameters, but that's probably a pretty good estimation. You can put in a lower and upper bound, literally the bound that you're looking for. This scale, we're going to be talking about it in numerical methods next year. Good rule of thumb will either be leave it as 1, which is actually the default, or just copy and paste over the initial values, which is also a good pragmatic way. And that's it, actually. You don't have to worry about the optimization method. Again, that's a bit too advanced. Or the optimality tolerance. And you just hit go, and lo and behold, it finds your answer for you. Now, really quickly, I'll just describe what the rest of these are. If you give it more than one objective function, the computer doesn't really know what to do with more than one. It's a little bit ambiguous. Do you want to maximize or minimize the sum of objectives, i.e. adding the two together? Or do you want to try and maximize or minimize them individually? But if you're doing that, generally speaking, you won't be able to maximize both of them simultaneously. So you need to weight it. And that's where the objective scaling comes in. If you come down here, you're also going to get to a box where it says constraints. Constraints are another way that you can kind of fix part of your problem. So for example, maybe you wanted to do go into here, non-local couplings. This is my coupling operator. Maybe, for example, I wanted to make a constraint that CB plus CA, had to be somewhere between 10 and 1,000 for some reason. I can't think of a good reason why that would be the case, but you wanted to do something like that. Then you would put it in there. The constraint handling method, again, I wouldn't worry about it because it's a bit too advanced for you right now, but the defaults usually suffice.